Well, we start with Arne Slot, who has called for more consistency by VAR after seeing Maxence Lacroix's challenge on Matheus Cunha yesterday punished by a penalty and a red card. Well, Vinny O'Connor spoke to Slot at his news conference this morning. We can speak to Vinny now. Vinny, very good afternoon to you. So how did Slot compare the challenge by Lacroix on Cunha yesterday and Marc Guehi's coming together with Mo Salah at Anfield last month?
Let's just say, Joe, he's pretty frustrated, I suppose a little annoyed as well, and confused at the fact that there were two very different outcomes as regards the two challenges that we're comparing. Now, yesterday, of course, we saw at Old Trafford the situation where Lacroix made contact with the right shoulder of Cunha as he made his way into the penalty area. Cunha obviously went down. The penalty was awarded, but ultimately then Lacroix saw red for that challenge as well for denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity. I think in that situation, there's debate potentially as to whether Cunha would have got on the end of the ball in the first place. But at the same time, obviously, the decision was taken after a VAR intervention. Now, at Anfield a few weeks ago when Liverpool faced Manchester City, Mo Salah on the right-hand side was making his way into the penalty area. He was tugged back by Marc Guehi. It was outside the box, the contact, so a free kick was given. But on that occasion, Marc Guehi didn't see red. Now, I think Arne Slot will feel that there's a definite similarity between both situations. So ultimately, that's where the confusion arises as to why there were two very different outcomes. So when we spoke to Arne Slot earlier today, he felt that looking at the two situations, one of the decisions was ultimately wrong.
Very comparable. The only difference is that Mo was pulled by the shirt and here was a hand on the shoulder. So the moment when I saw it, because I saw it live, I thought, knowing what has happened with us in that situation, VAR is probably checking if it is even a penalty or if it's in or outside the box. But he will never, ever give a red card for this. And this is what I sometimes hold against VAR, because every time when the Premier League comes in, they tell me that there was only two wrong decisions over a whole season. But I hold this against VAR. You're expecting, because in both situations it's VAR interference. The referee did not give a red card, and in one situation he overturned the two red card. That is for me, either one of the two is a mistake. This is for me a red card, because I said so many times that it was clear for me that the one from Guehi was a red card as well.
And Vinny, Slot also talking about the style of football in the Premier League and in particular the increase in set pieces.
Yeah, I think there's an acceptance from Arne Slot as to where we're at regarding that. I mean, he himself has been looking for greater output from Liverpool from set pieces, and he's got that in recent weeks as well. We saw it again at the weekend. The first three goals, of course, coming from corner kicks for Liverpool against West Ham in that 5-2 victory. But at the same time as well, I think he's feeling that in terms of entertainment value, we're not seeing the Premier League at its best, certainly compared to a few years ago. And this is what he had to say.
Do I like it? My football heart doesn't like it. I already said once in this press conference, if you ask me, then thinking about football, I think about 10, 15 years ago about the Barcelona team. Every Sunday evening you were hoping that they would play. And now most of the games I see in the Premier League are not, for me, a joy to watch. But it's always interesting because it's so competitive. And that is what makes this league great, because there's so much competitiveness. Everyone can win from everyone. But just as someone who loves to watch football without being interested in who's winning or losing it, just to be enjoyed, I think there's a big difference now between 3 or 4 years ago in the Premier League.
And again, Arne Slot will be without one of his more inventive players in Florian Wirtz when they face Wolverhampton Wanderers tomorrow. He, of course, pulled up in the warm-up ahead of the game against Nottingham Forest with a back problem. He missed that game. He missed the victory over West Ham as well. Still no clear indication as to when he'll be available for selection once again, but it seems that at the very least he'll miss the next two games.
OK, Vinny, for now, thank you very much.